Okay, welcome everybody. I'm Rabbi Chernitsky, Director of Chabad of Newfoundland. Lovely to be with you again tonight, Wednesday. Our class is somewhat fickle in the sense that it doesn't always happen on Wednesdays, doesn't always happen at 8 p.m. But Baruch Hashem, we've been trying to do something every week. This week's topic is, do Jews ever retire? This week's Parsha speaks about the training process of a Levite, somebody from the tribe of Levi, in the temple that we divided in two. So the tribe of Levi being one of the 12 sons of Jacob, right? One of the 12 tribes. The offspring from Aaron, right? Levi had three sons, Gershon, Kehas, and Merari. One of the sons of Kehas was Amram. Amram was the father of Aaron and Moses and Miriam. And the children of the line of Aaron are what we call today Kohanim, Cohens, English for priests. Everybody else is just a regular Levite, a Levi. So the Kohanim, they would do the parts of the service of the temple had to do with offering the sacrifices, everything related to it. The rest of the Levim who were not Kohanim, they would sing, they would play instruments, they would be the guardians. So in this week's Parsha, the Torah tells us something interesting. The Torah says that from the age of 25 to 30, there was a training period for the Levites. That's when they would train to do their jobs. And then between 30 and 50, they would do the work. And now, once they turned 50, they would stop doing their regular Levite job, and instead they would go do other jobs. So they wouldn't retire, so to speak, completely. They wouldn't stop working at the age of 50. They would instead start doing other things they weren't doing before, which is a tremendous novelty of the Torah. The whole concept of retirement is very recent. I was Googling it the other day, I'm going to Google it again. It was started by the German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck in the 1880s. What happened in Germany, and I guess what's happening then in Europe as well, is that the life expectancy was growing, thank God. People were living longer, people were staying in the workforce for longer. And then the younger people couldn't get a job. I guess there's some of a similarity to today without the first part of the issue, but young people can't get a job. So young people couldn't get a job. So then they instituted retirement. The older people had to retire. Now the younger people could find a job. Now the model of retirement today varies country by country, whether it goes by age or by capacity or capability. So for example, in Israel and other countries, when a person reaches a certain age, in Israel, I believe 65, your company has the right to retire you. They don't have to continue paying for you. They don't have to give you a job. You retire, you get your retirement money, your pension, and that's it. If the company wants, another company wants, you could continue working. The model that we have in North America is that there is no set time for retirement. If a person wants, he could work until he's 96, right? As long as he's producing, right? He's being good for the company. So this is the two models. The Torah's model is different because, yes, it is based on age, but the Levi doesn't retire. The Levi doesn't stop working. He starts doing something else, and he starts doing something else that he didn't do before. He has to learn something new. This is a tremendous novelty. If you want to know what's the best way to retire and learn something new. Learn a new skill, learn a new language. It's good for your brain and it's good for your soul. Because to retire is to expire. You always want to be doing something productive. So it's a beautiful thing. The Torah is teaching us that there's never a time when you retire and stop doing. There's a time when you retire and do something else that's productive, that's meaningful, that's intellectually stimulating. Right, just like the Levi that at age 50, they wouldn't do the physical work as much. They would do other jobs and they would need to learn how to do it. We wouldn't say, oh, they're too old to learn. People say, oh, I'm an old dog, I can't learn new tricks. Instead, they had to learn something new. Why? Because when you have something to do, you have meaning, you have purpose, you have life. When you don't have something to do, you feel worthless. Everybody needs to be doing something in the world. As Rashi points out, on the words in Genesis, Asher bara Elokim la'asos, God created to do. What do you mean to do? To fix. God created the world for us to fix, to perfect, to refine, to purify. And if we're not involved in that, we feel empty, we feel hollow, and we don't have any sense of satisfaction. So if you want to be satisfied, you always have to be doing something productive, learning something new. One of the great uncles of Rabbi Shneur Ashkenazi, Rabbi Vulpa, very interesting fellow. He worked for a bank called Discount until age 65. Again, this is in Israel. And at age 65, he had to retire. The company made him retire, the bank. So, being a religious Jew, an Erlich Yid, he was looking forward to retirement in the sense that he had set up study partners, chavrusas, the whole day. He's going to study with this one at 10, with this one at 11. It's going to be wonderful. Before he transitioned from working to retirement, he spent a few weeks in New York, and he went to visit the Lubavitcher Rebbe in Brooklyn. And he told the Lubavitcher Rebbe what he was planning to do and asked for a blessing for retired life. The Rebbe said, what do you mean? You're a healthy man at 65. This is a time to retire. Anyways, he got back to Israel, Rebbe Vulpa, and he had an invitation to work for a different bank, age 65, and following the Rebbe's advice, he took it, and he worked for another, if I'm not mistaken, 20 years or so. Now, his health didn't deteriorate until he stopped working for the second bank. Only when he was 80 plus, he found out that he had kidneys and he had all types of body parts and organs he never knew about because he had never had any issues. Until he was working, he was healthy. Anyways, this is not connected to the parsha, but I have to share it. This is a story with my wife's aunt, Auntie Ahuva, of blessed memory. My wife's aunt, and we have a daughter named after her, Shetichia. My wife's aunt was born with Down syndrome. This is many, many decades ago. It's in a time when parents that had a child with a severe cognitive disability, they wouldn't keep the baby. The baby would be given over for adoption or taken into a home. When the baby was born, my wife's grandparents wrote into the Lubavitcher Rebbe asking what they should do, and the Lubavitcher Rebbe gave them a blessing that they will have no issues from this daughter with Down syndrome more than any from the rest of the healthy children. And sure enough, for somebody with the Down syndrome, she did quite well, and her health issues, besides the Down syndrome, only began after my wife's grandparents, both of them had passed away. Until then, she was like a regular child. Anyways, L'chaim, God Almighty should bless us all to be healthy, to be well, to bring healthy children into the world, to have healthy students, to inspire people to do good. And remember, to retire is to expire. You never retire. Learn something new, learn a new language, learn a new skill. Take one of my classes, for example. I'll see you, God willing, next week.